LIV Golf has been planning its first major league in Australia for a while. They have the money, and they've signed with the top golfers out there. All that needs to be done is to find a suitable golf course in Australia to kickstart their 2023 events. That's where the problem starts. After several setbacks, they're aiming for a new host city. Without further ado, let's dive into the story. Starting off, a surprise new host city has been announced for LIV Golf Tournament in Australia. We have some good news for the golf fans in Australia, as the upcoming year seems to be jam-packed with several golfing tournaments. The PGA Tour already had its major championships planned in the country for 2023, but all eyes were on the LIV circuit after they decided to kick off their first major league there as well. In fact, a representative reached the country with a mission to find a suitable golf course for the tournament. Now, it looks like they found the right place. Yes, LIV Golf is headed to South Australia, and Adelaide's Grange Golf Club will apparently be the hosting ground for their upcoming event. LIV Series' CEO Greg Norman has played many times here. In fact, he supported the administration in the redesign of the course in 2012. Besides this, it's the same place where he won his first major tournament. Several sources have now revealed that the LIV administration is eyeing April as the ideal month when the championship could be held in Australia. Obviously, they'll have to plan it before or after the Masters at Augusta National, which is bound to take place between April 6th to 9th. But April definitely seems to be the best choice as the weather is favorable and the golf courses are in ideal conditions. On top of it, there's also going to be a lot of buzz among the fans as the major season starts in the US. Following that, Sydney was their first choice. Actually, the LIV administration was initially considering Sydney to be the host city for their tournament. After all, it's got some of the most desirable golf courses out there. Previously, it would be reported that the league would be held in Melbourne, but the rumors were immediately put to rest as the city has a strong association with the PGA Tour, with the 2028 and 2040 Presidential Cup scheduled to be held there. The events would have been held at the iconic Royal Sydney Golf Club. Greg put in a lot of effort, but the odds were not in his favor this time. He had a huge blow when the Royal Sydney Golf Club straightaway refused to host any of the events. He was clearly hoping to take LIV Golf to one of the most prestigious setups in Australia, which would have been another achievement for the LIV Series, but he was forced to seek out other options. This Sydney-based course has seen several iconic wins while hosting the Australian Open, with American golfer Jordan Spieth being the last man to win a title there over an Aussie, and new LIV member Cameron Smith. Other prominent names to take home Australia's prestigious title at the Royal Sydney Club include golfing legend Gary Player and Adam Scott. When you think about it, this refusal doesn't come out as a huge surprise, as the golf course has hosted a number of PGA Tour events in the past, and the administration seems to be loyal to the PGA leadership. Even if you rule out that possibility, there'd still be a lot of pressure from the golfing world as they haven't yet accepted the Saudi-backed LIV Invitational Series. Moving on, here's why the LIV administration skipped Victoria. After Sydney, Greg's circuit was keen on planning the events in Victoria, but they had to face another setback there as well. Last month, it was reported that the executives from LIV Golf had visited a number of golf courses in Victoria. In fact, they had contacted and reached out to some of them with handsome offers. It looks like they had to face external resistance there as well, because the deal came to no conclusion. And now they're in advanced talks to host the tournament at Adelaide's Grange Club, as it has close ties with Greg Norman. If you're curious about the possible reasons for this, it's believed that LIV executives thought Victoria won't be the ideal venue to start off their prestigious league. Besides this, the Victoria government doesn't want to engage with them at any cost. This isn't much of a shocker, as the Premier of Victoria, Daniel Andrews, has been closely linked with the sports establishment. It seems that the PGA Tour won't stop until they put hurdles at every step for LIV Golf. Last but not least, let's look at the league's format. LIV Series has currently been organizing its first 8 events in the USA, which are supposed to conclude in October, but they're set to land in Australia next year for their first major league, with a proper format. They've announced their schedule for their upcoming 14 events that will see the concept of team franchises. Not only do the players participate individually, but they also have to fight for their teams. This will be a chance to prove themselves, as they'll either be promoted or relegated based on their performance for the Asian Tour events. The 48 players will be divided into 12 team franchises who'll have to compete for a whopping $585 million in prizes. It's great news not only for the Australian golfers, but also for the Aussie fans. They'll finally welcome their domestic heroes who have found it hard to return home for the tournaments during the past few years due to tour schedules and COVID-19 restrictions. LIV Golf has planned a total of 25 events for 2023, which will be held later in Asia and Europe after the Australian ones. Other related news. Let's take a look at other interesting news from the world of golf. First off, a LIV Series insider reveals why some PGA Tour stars are waiting to join the league. According to the news reports, several PGA Tour golfers are figuring out how many world ranking points they need to accumulate in the major competitions until 2024 before switching to the LIV Golf Series. The big money from the LIV Golf Series has attracted some of the top golfers in the world, including this year's Open Championship winner Cameron Smith. But the thing is that LIV events have yet to be accredited by the official World Golf Ranking points. Therefore, the interested players have decided to wait till next year for things to smooth out before they make the move. This is because they'll have racked up enough OWGR points by then to remain in the top 50 for the 2023-2024 season and be able to qualify for the 2024 majors even if the LIV circuit hasn't sorted it out. LIV Golf submitted an application back in July for the eligibility of OWGR points, but no decision has been made so far. During this time, they've hosted 5 tournaments with no points awarded to the players. Up next, Phil Mickelson and other LIV rebels dropped the lawsuit against PGA Tour. Phil Mickelson, Taylor Gooch, Ian Poulter, and Hudson Swafford heard, have now removed their names from the lawsuit filed against PGA Tour for their suspension. PGA Tour and LIV Golf have been at odds ever since the controversial Saudi-backed series debuted. Long story short, LIV Golf was successful in luring some of the biggest names away from the PGA Tour, thanks to the multi-million-dollar signing-on fees and the appealing prize money. In response, the Tour took some harsh decision and suspended the Rebels indefinitely. Phil was the trailblazer of the lawsuit, but now he's decided to step down from the legal battle. He said in his statement that he's pleased that the Tour players are finally being respected and heard. He was also thankful to LIV Golf for stepping in to protect the rights of the players. Although these players have removed their names, the legal battle against the PGA Tour will continue. Just 3 players are now attached to the case alongside their LIV bosses, including Matt Jones, Bryson DeChambeau, and Peter Uihlein. Despite these dropouts, LIV representatives have revealed that the merit of the case won't be affected. Last but not least, Greg Norman fires back at Rory McIlroy. Even since LIV Golf debuted, Rory has been one of the most outspoken critics of the league, with his undying devotion to the PGA Tour. He even plans on starting his own league with the legend Tiger Woods to attract an audience for the Tour and fend off the LIV circuit. Now Greg Norman has hit back at his comments, calling him a hypocrite. He stated that Rory shouldn't be begrudging the players who decided to compete with the LIV circuit. After all, he had a similar start in golf. He had initially joined the European Tour. Later, he decided to leave it and participate where all the money was, on the PGA Tour. Norman further added that he's an independent player, so he should make his own decisions instead of speaking for others. That's a wrap for the video. Are you excited about LIV Golf's Australian tournaments? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more amazing and exciting videos like this. See you in the next one!